Just roll back like a year ago. Samsung's J series and A series were not performing well, and hence we saw the Samsung dominance fall. In India, Xiaomi dethroned Samsung for the #1 spot, and Realme, a relatively new name back then, emerged in the smartphone battle. But Samsung is not a brand that would just sit and watch its market share dip. So they introduced the M series intended to challenge the online phones from Xiaomi and Realme, and also they revamped the A series for the offline market. And to be honest, Samsung did well with its first wave of M and A series in the first and second quarter of 2019. We've reviewed almost every Samsung phone since then, and honestly, they were quite refreshing. Now, coming back to the present context, Samsung has released the S variants of its A series. And looking at the specs of all these phones, they don't deserve to be called as an upgrade. Also, the competing smartphones from Xiaomi and Realme are getting better with each iteration. This further puts Samsung in a dreadful misery. However, Samsung has dropped the prices of all the S variants in India and here in Nepal too, because the original price, well, was not competitive enough. The Galaxy A50s that I have with me today originally retailed for 42,000 rupees is now available for 35,000 rupees, which I think should have been the launch price to begin with. Anyways, the question is, should you get the A50s? Does it fare well against the competition? Let's dig into it after this shout out to our sponsor, Hostinger. It is a web hosting service to help you make your dream website. It is fast, secure, and provides you with the best rates in the market. I personally liked its VPS hosting plan and website builder, so if you want more information on this, you can go check out hostinger.com, or you can also go check out the link in the description. So the first thing that remains more or less unchanged from the A50 is the design. You get the same plastic back, which evidently will get scratches after prolonged usage, so better case it up. One minor change is that this one has this gradient back, which is more pleasing to the eyes than the regular A50. However, one thing I've really liked about this phone is how slim it is. It measures 7.7 mm in thickness, and when comparing it with other popular mid-range phones like the Note 8 Pro or the Realme XT, the difference can easily be realized. Moreover, the sleekness is achieved without compromising on the phone's battery, as the A50s comes with a 4000 mAh battery as well. Add to this the lightweight build, I can see people liking the overall design of the A50s. What's equally good in here is the display. You get a 6.4 inches Super AMOLED Full HD panel whose quality, as expected from a Samsung phones, is top-notch. And by the way, there's a tiny U-shaped notch on the top. The display produces excellent contrast, good colors, and is fairly bright, so using it outdoors should not be a problem. On the subject of liking things about the A50s, its cameras are impressive as well. You get an improved 48 megapixel lens, and Samsung has done a very good job with the software optimization. The picture quality is definitely better than what we get from the M30s or the Redmi Note 8 Pro or even the Realme XT. Mind you, all of these phones are cheaper than the A50s, so with this you get what you pay for. The second 8 megapixel wide-angle lens is above average. Detail-wise it's okay, but the colors are generally lively and pleasing. The portrait shots too are commendable with good subject focus, colors, background blur, and edge detection. Another point in the bank to Samsung for its awesome software optimization. On the front, there is a 32 megapixel selfie camera residing inside the notch. And like the ones on the back, I am a fan of these too. From dynamic range to colors to details, the selfies from the A50s will not disappoint. The selfie portraits also work really well with good focus on the subject and background blur. However, its edge detection resides in the gray area with lots of room for improvement. The videos are okay for the price. You don't get OIS, but the Gyro EIS does a good job for 1080p videos. And as expected, there's no 60 FPS in here. But Samsung has included options like slow-mo, super slow-mo, and super steady mode here. The only aspect I did not like about the A50s's camera is the night mode. It overexposes the nighttime images, making it unusual. And Samsung had the same issue with the M30s, so frankly I'm really disappointed that they have not rolled out any update to fix this issue. As I've already mentioned before, there is a 4000 mAh battery powering this device, which will provide you a good battery life. On the charging front, Samsung is still using a 15-watt charger, and I think this is where the company has compromised, as they should have gone with a 25-watt charger like its bigger sibling, the A70s. Though I can live with the 15-watt charger, I don't understand Samsung's decision to put the Exynos 9611 chipset on the A50s. If you don't know, it's basically the same as the A50 that comes with the Exynos 9610. Thus, the performance of the 6-month-old A50 and the A50s is near identical, which I think is a big letdown. The Exynos 9611 is based on 10nm, so it's comparatively energy efficient, although its CPU and GPU performance are not comparable to the Snapdragon 730G or the Helio G90T. And I have also said this in my M30s review about the One UI not being very optimized for mid-range chipsets, and same is the case with the A50s. So you will obviously not feel the UI as smooth as they claim it to be on the Note 10 or the S10. Hopefully that will get solved when Samsung releases the One UI 2.0. I know it sounds unfair, but I believe it should not be the case, because you are paying good money for the A50s and the UI should not be the way it is. Anyways, if you are coming from a budget phone, A50s will serve you well. The multitasking is great, browsing and chatting is swift, and you will not have any problem playing high-end games like PUBG in high graphics and high frame rates. So yeah, the performance is not bad. However, it's just that the competition is providing better SoCs at this price range, and Samsung seems to ignore the fact that many consumers here in South Asia look for better performance in the mid-range segment. Another thing that Samsung is hopelessly pathetic at is the slow fingerprint sensor. Even if I forgave this delay, I cannot stand the fact that it just does not read my fingerprint sometimes. The A50 had the same issue, and I was expecting the new version to have faster ones. After all, it's not a new tech anymore. Well, that might not be good news, but what's good news is that Hostinger is providing up to 91% off on their yearly web hosting plans. I also have a coupon code for you, so if you're looking for an affordable web hosting service, go check out hostinger.com and use coupon code GadgetBuy to redeem your offer. I will leave other details in the description below. So overall, I have mixed feelings about the A50s. Actually, this whole video would have been a rant video if Samsung had not dropped the price of this phone, but since they did, the A50s is not a bad phone entirely. You get a Super AMOLED display whose quality is hard to find in other phones of this price range. The cameras are good, and like I said earlier, I see people liking the design of this phone because of its slim and thin form factor. However, the overall performance, especially the UI, is just about average, and you will get much better performing phones at lesser price. So if you're someone who values performance a lot, you should be looking somewhere else. Otherwise, with the recent price drop, the A50s does really make sense. So that was all for our review of the Galaxy A50s. Do let us know what you think about the device in the comment section below. Till then, I'm Pratima Adhikari, and I'll see you in the next one.